This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by promoter Eddie Hearn here a couple of hours after the official weigh-in. Eddie, before we come on to a little phone call you've just had there with Mr. Ben Shapiro, everyone's arriving now from Team Boxing. Yeah, Eubank firstly, his late arrival to the weigh-in. Just want to go in order as to the events. What did you make of it when he turned up late?
Well, I mean, look, it's like it's a bit like a political campaign. This is. I mean, he said about parliamentary procedure, but everything's designed with the content to like build a narrative. So like the narrative now is showing, the work that he put in overnight to make weight. By the way, the same work that all the other fighters on the card did, apart from Conor Benn, to make weight. Yeah, he missed weight. Can we stop with the fucking narrative of it's tough? It's tough. It's tough for everybody, right? He missed his own championship weight. A few months ago, he boxed against Camille Zerametta, right? He made 160 pounds. The fight before that, he made 160 pounds. The fight before that, he made 160 pounds. That's his weight. He's the IBO World Middleweight Champion. He just missed weight, right? Last night, Team Eubank asked to bring the weigh-in forward to 10 a.m. The British Boxing Board of Control said no. The weigh-in is at 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock for all fighters, etc. Then he turned up at 12 o'clock. And when you turn up that late, the board will not give you the time. Like if you get on the scales at the right time, you'll get an hour to try and take the weight off. Right? Because he got on late, they only gave him, I think it was 20 minutes or something. But he still didn't, even then he didn't do anything because they're just all over the place. Yeah, it's unprofessional. It's poor discipline. Unfortunately, he talked about his discipline yesterday. You can't have it both ways. You can't give it the big one. I'm this, I'm the champion, I'm disciplined, I'm professional. No, you're not. You just missed weight. And you turned up late for the weigh-in. But that's all right. It's done. I mean, people miss weight. But you can't have it both ways.
I'm sure you've seen some people who've had some sense of sympathy towards Junior because of those videos that he's put out of what he's gone through.
You've been around boxing long enough. I know you're still a young man. This is what fighters go through to make weight. Every fighter. It's part of the game. Do you know what I mean? But you can't, like, what was this? Feel sorry for Chris Eubank Day? You're going to feel sorry for Conor Benn when Eubank's a stone heavier than him in the ring at Tottenham tomorrow? No. So, like, it is what it is. You've got a job to do. You're the middleweight champion of the world. You fight at 160 pounds and you couldn't make it. No big deal. I'm not saying hang him out to dry. I'm just saying you miss weight. Unprofessional. Expensive.
The rehydration clause, is that coming out 170 or is it the 0.05?
Yeah, 170. It's still the same. Still the same. But it's half an ounce. If when he missed the weight, he would have gone for his walk, which he did eventually, it would have come off. But he didn't do it. He sat there on his phone.
If there wasn't a rehydration clause, Eddie, what do you think he would have weighed in at tomorrow morning?
Exactly the same. You can go, right, this is what happened. I'm not a nutritionist, but I've been around dozens of them. I've been around hundreds of fighters making weight, right? Very close to that process. When he hydrates, first thing you'll do is you'll take on board liquids. You won't eat. People think you just go straight down and eat. No. Probably for the first 2 to 4 hours, you will just take on fluids. In that time, you will probably put on somewhere between 6 and 8 pounds in fluid alone, right? Then, obviously, eventually you'll start going to the toilet. Then you'll have some food, maybe 4 hours later. So somewhere around 3 or 4 o'clock, he will eat, right? Then he'll keep hydrating. And by that time, he'll be about 10 or 11 pounds over, right? Overnight, he will lose somewhere between 2 and 3 pounds. So really, what he can do today, from when he weighed in, which I think was about 12:30, to going to bed tonight, call it 10 o'clock at night, he will be allowed to put on between 12 and 13 pounds. It's a huge amount of weight. He'll wake up in the morning, and I think he'll be less than the 10 pound. But again, that's the rules. It's what he signed up for. And that is also to keep my fighter safe, because he is going to be and by the way, that's at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning when he wakes up. And guess what? After that, he's going to go downstairs, he's going to drink a couple of litres of water, he's going to have a nice big breakfast, then he's going to have a nice big lunch, and he's going to come into the ring at about 177 pounds. My man will come into the ring at 163 pounds, and he will be giving away 1 stone in the ring. That is such a huge disadvantage. And as I said to everybody in the interview, this process, this 48 hours, is very hard for Eubank. And then tomorrow night, it's going to be very hard for my man in there having a fight with a much bigger man.
Just one more on the whole weight thing then and the rehydration clause. If you believe that he'd come in and weigh in without a rehydration clause, this is the same in the morning, why the need for it?
To protect our fighter and to make sure that it's done. Again, like, all you ever do, not you and just you, but you just look at it one way. Like, why aren't you asking me? His own father is concerned for Conor Benn. If you listen to the comments, it's not safe for Conor Benn to step up 2 divisions and fight a man of this size. I never get one question asking me, oh, do you think it's fair? Do you think it's safe that Conor Benn has to come up and give away a stone in a ring and fight a much bigger man? Narrative, narrative, narrative.
Do you think people would make the other argument in terms of Conor's last couple of fights being above welterweight?
Doesn't matter. What's that got to do with it?
Because he's naturally been able to grow out.
Yeah, but he had 3 weeks' notice, 4 weeks' notice. Like, all his stats on his nutrition said that he will be returning to 147. But it's not even a conversation. No one's mentioned it once. They don't give a fuck. All they want to do is paint a picture. God, this is... wow, look at what Eubank did to make weight last night. That's his fucking weight. He does it all the time. But it's like no one wants to go and talk to Aaron McKenna. No one wants to go and talk to, I don't know, Chris Smith about how he boils down to cruiserweight and how tough it is for him. They all know how tough it is. Do you think Liam Smith sitting over there watching those videos going, oh, wow, core, that's tough. He does it every fucking time, you know? But if you want to get someone to film it all and put it all over the internet, great.
Away from all of that, recent conversation just there with Mr. Ben Shalom. What was Ben on the phone to
Just
you about?
moaning. Gloves, not happy with the gloves, not happy with this. It's like, you know, when you go into a meeting with the British Boxing Board of Control for glove selection, it's very straightforward. Gloves that are approved by the local commission or the Brit that they're the approved gloves. Well, don't like these. These look a little bit dangerous. Shut up with the moaning. Moan. Excuse. Just take it on the chin. We miss weight. We got to pay. Do you know what I mean? Like, just get on with the fight, honestly.
What's it been like to work with for
Ben,
this
I
fight?
like Ben. Honestly, like it. I joke when I say he's very strange. He's a little very quirky guy, isn't he? Like, do you know what I mean? But he's just very green, very green. But I was green. You can't. That comes with age and experience. It's not his fault. Still doing well, but like in this moment, and probably I was never the same as him. But I was a bit emotional and like during these massive moments, but like that just comes from putting yourself in a position time and time again. Like when he phones up and says we've got a major problem, it's like we actually haven't got a problem at all. Do you know what I mean?
Eddie, it was all kicking off at Wayne earlier because we saw Frank Smith and Mazza Rashid having a back and forth as well.
Yeah.
What did you make of their
Those
interaction?
two have got a little bit of a back and forth kind of thing. I'd left the weigh-in because I had to get the guys to prepare the invoice for the weight penalty. But they stayed there and they were arguing. When Chris went in there, and Maz, they didn't want any cameras in there, but all the cameras filmed all the way in. I think Maz and the team have got a point. It's very humiliating, especially when you're missing weight. Like, do you know what I mean? And you really at that point, you don't want to be having an argument with anyone. I didn't see what happened, but I saw it on the social media. I was just, I don't know what they were arguing about.
So Frank posts about the 3 wickets getting a heads up on the cricket.
No comment.
Just one final one from me, Eddie. Just going back to a press conference yesterday, I just want to get your thoughts on some comments from Reno, suggesting that maybe DAZN hadn't had the best run of shows previously from promoters that have had shows on the platform, and he wanted to point out that this was a bring event. This had nothing, but not necessarily nothing, but it wasn't to do with Matchroom or Boxer. Just your take on those comments.
I'm the promoter. I'm the promoter on paper. I'm the promoter with the British Boxing Board of Control, but it is a ring event. Obviously, The Ring is a magazine, and Rick Reno is a journalist. I thought the comments were quite bizarre. Rick's a little bit out there sometimes as well, and he sort of come up to me. I like Rick as well, so no beef. Like, he just came up to me before, and he was like, "I'm gonna say a few things like with you and Shalom, and like make it a bit exciting." I was like, "Yeah, whatever, mate. Like, I don't care what happens up there." And I was listening to the comments, and I was like, and DAZN weren't happy at all because they kind of insinuated that someone from DAZN had said it, which was absolute rubbish. And then Rick came up to me after, and he went, "What do you think?" And I went, "I think you're a prick." And he went, "What do you mean?" I said, "Because you have to understand, like, I don't know, some people won't understand. This is my life, right? This is my company. You make a lot of sacrifices, you work your absolute nuts off, and you ain't going to get criticised like that up there by someone like Rick Reno." But I don't, like, someone said to me today, I won't name names, but another promoter, "Why didn't you ridicule him on the stage?" Because I'm kind of chilled now. But afterwards, he said to me, "What do you think?" And I told him, I said, "Nah," I said, "it's not on really. Just be honest with you. Like, I'm not going to shout at you and scream at you, but it's very personal to me." Oh, and I said, "But it's okay because it's lodged." And to be honest, sometimes you need that, because you've got to keep the fire burning inside. And my fire's always burning, but sometimes you can get comfortable, and sometimes the flame can just start to dip a little bit. And someone comes out of a comment like that, and the competitor in me will go, "Yeah, I'll fucking show you." I was going to say something else then, but I stopped. But so it's all good, you know what I mean? And it's like, listen, you never know who told him to say it. Yeah, he's just an employee, Rick. So very bold statement from someone of his stature. But I know I give it the big one about, like, I'll do anything, whatever they say, I'll do. But I've got pride as well, So we shall see.
We will do, Eddie. Final one, because we won't get a chance to speak to you tomorrow now. Sorry, before the fight. What happens at the Tottenham ground
Conor
tomorrow?
Benn knocks himself.
I hope you don't.
Conor Benn knocks him out inside. I was going to say 6. I think inside 4. He says 2. But I just, I can just see it. Don't get me wrong, it's a very tough fight. And that, I know that everyone falls into the narrative of the Eubanks now, building the narrative. It's a massive disadvantage for Conor tomorrow night. Massive. But the sharpness, the speed, but more importantly, God's timing will show us all we need tomorrow night. Watch this space.
Eddie, I've enjoyed this. I could talk to you for longer, but I know you got to get ready for the weigh-in now. So thank you for speaking to me. I'll see you soon.
Cheers, mate.